burden of proof, so she will go first. For the most part, I will direct the questioning of the petitioner to get the information I need. I'll try to leave that open-ended as far as the questions themselves. The respondent's attorney will have the opportunity to follow up with any questions they have in cross-examination. If the petitioner has other witnesses they intend to call, then they can do so, and those witnesses would be cross-examined thereafter. And then when the petitioner has rested, the respondent can elect whether to present evidence or not, testify or to remain silent. And at the conclusion of that, I will make a decision regarding the extension of the 12-month order. Ms. Beeler, would you please go ahead and raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear any statements you make to the court today will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. All right. You have filed this case against Mr. Robbie, and to the best of your knowledge, he is a DeKalb County resident. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. How long have you known of this person or been aware of them in any way?
Over a year, I would say. I first ran into him, I don't know, March or April of last year. I used to live next door to him, so I'm sure maybe we crossed paths prior to that, but didn't really actually start communicating until around April or May, I believe.
Okay. And you said used to live next door. Which one of you two moved elsewhere?
I did, due to the circumstances and the fear for my safety. I moved out actually 2 months early prior to my lease, paid double rent because that was important for my overall well-being.
All right. And I guess to give you kind of a guide of what to expect here, we'll talk through what your experience has been with the other party. I am not somebody who, I don't want you to fret about particular dates, for example, but what's important is having a general timeline. So if there's something that happened back in October of last year, it's not exactly relevant to me and the decision I have to make if it was the 13th or the 15th. And people often in these hearings feel like, oh, if I can go through my phone, I can find that answer. You can say mid-October, you can say last fall. And what I tell people, and this goes for everybody who has a hearing like this before me, usually the first time frame or explanation that pops into your head is going to be a good faith one and going to be accurate. So if you said, the closer you get to the present, the more precise you should be able to be. But if something was last Christmas or last month or this past week or whatever it may be, that's enough for me to have a general idea of sort of how things have played out. And that's really the focus of this. So don't feel stressed to be, 100% precise, so long as we understand the rough timetable of things. So you two began talking last spring, and what happened from there?
Yeah. So, we first started associating Memorial Day of last year. And I would say loosely dated until about, and I know I appreciate your detail around dates. So I would say around August 7th is when I essentially communicated that I no longer wanted anything further in a relationship. I was happy to stay neighborly, friendly, if you will. I didn't want to have any tension there. But I did not want to pursue anything further. I had seen some very significant red flags in the behavior that made it very clear to me that I did not want to pursue this any further.
Okay. And so the relationship ended in August, and what concerning contact occurred after that?
Yep. So, constant attempts. I have attached a lot of evidence, screenshots. I'm sure we can get into that later. But constant attempts of communication past that point, asking why I don't want to pursue it further, with my answer being the same over and over again, asking further detail and explanation, to the point where I went over and over again saying, I just want to be left alone. I just want to be able to move forward. Around or in October, let's say. So that was about in August. Those communications went on for a little while. In October, on October 6th, actually, I found in my trash can outside of my apartment, there were flowers, a 2-page letter, as well as 2 Apple Watches. The reason my trash can in the apartments, we have like a valet trash service. So you put your trash out in the evening and take your trash can in the morning, right? So that was the only exposure he could really see of mine. The letter was very disturbing. I have that uploaded as evidence, as well as the Apple Watch. Like there was just gifts that were unwarranted, right? So I texted him back saying, I'm going to leave these at your door. I do not want these. Please continue to leave me alone.
So let me jump in and stop here. You found the notes, the flowers, and the watches where?
In my trash can.
Okay, so had the trash been emptied and then they had been placed inside the empty trash can?
Exactly. So at night, you put your trash can out with your trash. The trash company collects the trash. In the morning, you take your empty bin in. So in the morning, I went out, take my empty bin and open the bin and find these things inside.
Okay. And so since you've referenced the evidence, Madam Clerk, we're going to see if we can screen share.
Yeah, that's it's petitioner number 2 that I have. Actually 2 and 3. So those were the flowers and the candle that were in the trash can. If you go to the next picture, those were the Apple Watches with a note that you can see there. I'm not too sure if you can zoom in and read the note that was there. Are you able to read that?
There's only one thing more precious than our time, and that's who we spend it on.
Yeah.
Happy Rosh Hashanah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm Jewish, so I was celebrating the holidays with my family. If you go to the next slide, this is evidence of saying I responded back on October 6th. Thanks, but no thanks. I will leave the Apple Watches and candle outside of your door now. This is the respondent obviously acknowledging that he left those there. Now, if you, whenever you're done, if you'll go to petitioner number 3, that there is a 2-page note in that evidence, or in that.
Give us one moment.
No problem.
Okay, and so forgive me for the sequencing here. So this would be Yom Kippur follows at the tail end of.
Well, it does. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
But that note was actually in the trash can as well. I just uploaded it separately. So I don't know if you want me to read it or you want to read that.
I can read it. Mr. Shen, are you able to read it, or I can read it out loud?
Your Honor, just is she tendering this into evidence or reading off?
I'm sorry, Mr. Shen, your audio is a little bit choppy. Could you repeat that for me?
Oh, yes, of course, Your Honor. So I'm just wondering if Ms. Beeler is tendering all this into evidence so I can raise an objection if necessary, or
what will your objection be? I mean, we still have to review it all before it's ruled upon.
Right. So I'm just trying to figure out, is she tendering right now, or what is she trying to do? I mean, is she laying a foundation, or?
I'm explaining the different circumstances that have gone on.
We are looking at the information that is received, and then we will address foundation and tender it into evidence thereafter. What is your objection?
If I may raise an objection right now, I'll raise an objection based on authentication, Your Honor.
Okay, she has testified that these items were left on her porch, and she has displayed text messages from the respondent acknowledging he left them there. So what particularly in respect to the authentication are you unsatisfied about?
Your Honor, the note or the letter we're looking at, there's no identifying, at least I can see that's from my client.
Okay, let's click. You know what? I tell you what, we're gonna read this. Are you able to read it, Mr. Shen?
Yes, Your Honors. It's sort of.
Okay. Well, I'm going to read it out loud to make sure we're all on the same page here. Dearest Allie, if you are reading this, I finally made up the courage to find a way to say, also cleaned your trash. So good for me. I thought a million ways to say this and did not find an easy one. Forgive my boring attempt at correspondence. Important thing is to feel close and know that you are loved. It's hard to believe the autumnal equinox is over and done with. Now the days get longer. Perish the thought. For now, I am cherishing and appreciating each and every day, long or short. Tempus fugit. How are you, Allie? It was a real delight to see you for the first time after a month. What it feels like to be a weight of a lifetime. All the prayers I did as I cross every corner of our hallways, lift doors, parking lot, hoping to see you on the other end, were finally answered. I hope you are eating healthy and taking good care of pancreas. I hope you would agree that good connections are hard to find and harder to lose. I learned that they need work too. They too need work, courage, which is probably why they were good, and the work towards it can be ugly, dissatisfying, and everything in between. But if we can show the tiniest bit of resilience, love has its magical way to make everything work. Truth be told, I saw a future with you, Allie, a bright one that our parents and family will be proud of, one for the generations to come, one our kids can look back and be proud of. It wasn't until one of these long evenings that I spent reminiscing our days together that it hit me with repentance. More I think, more I repent. Maybe I was too scared I'd lose you. I could only imagine what you have gone through. What worries me is that I did not intend any of that. I am truly sorry. There is not a single moment that I did not feel guilty ever since. Most people don't know what they are doing. They act, some bad, some good. What if we choose not to act and not give a fuck? What does it take to live a life on our own terms? What if there is only love? What if everyone realized we were and are going to be here only for a fraction of a second? Doesn't the music connect better? Doesn't every second justify our lives? Don't you want to find a person and find everything else together? Doesn't every part of the earth excite you? A wise man once said that there are two lives for a person, and the second one starts when he realizes he only got one. And I realized that when I lost you. Well, I cannot say I lost you. I have all the beautiful memories that I cherish. Our time hitting the wall, Costco trips, the movies, the fun we made on our neighbors, all that boring, astronomical indulgence I forced on you, our ice cream runs. I still remember our date on the rooftop after the disastrous movie in the popcorn machine seats. Nature was talking to me while you were just setting your hair. I was having the moment of my life. It is almost surprising how such a little thing could impact someone so much. What made it so special? Is it the environment? Is it the person doing it? Is it the person feeling it? Was I just attracted? Why did I not consider you glitter? How do I know you make me a better man? How do I know you would be the most important woman in my life after my mother and sister and one day replacing them? How do I know you are not any other average white girl? Ignorance truly is bliss. I cannot answer any of these questions, but what is more romantic than a man's willing to love a woman for the rest of his fucking life? Answer is none. Missing you lots. Your greatest fan ever. All right. So, ma'am, you were still residing at the apartment. You received the note, the flowers, the candle, and did you say Apple Watches plural?
2 Apple Watches. I returned all of them, and I have that text message received.
And so if we can display the text message again, please. I think it was number 2.
That's number 2.
And so this was a text message that you sent to a number that you knew to be the respondents. Is that correct?
I did not. I did not want to keep any of that. I did not ask for that. All I asked was to be left alone. So I wanted to return that.
All right. And so, Madam Clerk, can we display number 2 again? Or whatever the text messages were?
Sorry, can you say that again, please?
Can we get the text messages again? I think it was number 2 was how it was originally marked.
Number 2, okay.
Number 2, third picture.
Third picture.
Now, I did obviously keep the letter for sake of evidence, but I put that there.
All right. So you received the messages, the letter was unmarked, and then when you contacted him, he acknowledged the items and asked that you keep the watch. Obviously, you declined that. And have you done anything to alter in any way the content or context of the text messages or the letter that was displayed as they were marked when they were received by the clerk as petitioners 2 and 3?
No, I have not.
Okay, and those are fair and accurate copies of those messages.
Correct.
All right, Mr. Shen, any objection to these being admitted into evidence?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. So this happened in early October. And
yeah.
What happened after that?
Okay, so after October 6th, October 16th, there was a very long string of text messages. If the petitioner 5 evidence is all of the text messages, we might have to scroll down to October 16th. But I have them all there to show the multiple attempts of me asking him to leave me alone.
Okay, well, let me see if we can pull those up. Give us just a moment. And when you say all the text messages, you're saying this is from when to when, roughly?
Yeah, I have, so there's quite a few, and I've got timestamps on a few of them as well. And if it's possible, okay, it's starting here. August 16th, starting here, right? I would really actually love to share every single one of these screenshots because I think it proves over and over what I've been dealing with. As you can see, prior to August 16th, there are additional messages here. But this started August 16th with this specific instance. Again, I'd like to show all of them.
Okay, and are all of the messages we're going to see true and accurate screenshots of your communications to and from the respondent?
Yes.
Okay, have they been edited or changed in any way?
Nope, just screenshotted.
All right. Allie, you're an idiot. August 16th, 6:52. You're an idiot if you don't think I don't know what's happening. Allie, I am sorry. I really don't know what's happening with you, and I'd love to learn. Might have to save me, though. Almost drunk at Lake Lanier. Next page. That's not the point. I'm pretty sure you love me, Allie. You think I'm an idiot. It's also nothing else. It's one drive by me, holding my hand, looking into my eyes, difficult situations, my ass, you by me. There's nothing else. Next page. I am texting only because I see a reason and you give me a reason because you've got something. There's a picture. August 16th, 8:25. I don't give a fuck what's the rest of the world is giving. I would die here, but I love you. Pick them up from Chick-fil-A. And so does this skip forward to October 16th?
Yeah.
This matches the other.
Yeah, sorry, that might have been in there. If we can, they might have not all gone in correctly, but yeah, that was about 20 plus messages. As you can see, it's very erratic.
So there are quiet periods and then there are
right, and there's
messages
over. Is it possible to start from the top of these screenshots and I can speak it on each one? Some of them, any of them we've covered, I'll feel free to move forward. So if you scroll down on this page here on this screenshot, I actually scroll up just a bit first. I apologize. You can see on August 16th, if you scroll down, I said, so I think this goes without saying, but I have zero interest in pursuing a relationship further. Happy to stay friends/neighbors, but wanted to be as clear as to where things are. Now, obviously my stance changed on this as I started to become harassed over and over again. If we can go to the next screenshot, please. Now, again, it's just asking why I made that decision, and I'm constant on my explanation. We can go to the next message. It's almost, he's asking how many stars would you give, and then asking more reasons about it. We'll go to the next screenshot, please. Again, this is when the messages started on August 16th. Again, I reiterated, I'm no longer interested in this. I can't force something that's not there. We can go to the next message, please.
These were the 2 pages I think we just read.
Yep. So we keep going. Now here, I want to show these, right? This is over and over again. I'm asking to be done. I'm saying, please leave me alone. I literally don't know what you're saying. It's getting very annoying at this part. I'm done. I'm not sure how to make this more clear. Then he goes, I am sorry you feel me annoying. I don't mind annoying people as long as it helps. If you scroll down on this page, I respond saying, I don't want your help. And I don't think you understand the point. I want to be left alone. If we could go to the next message, please. How can I make this more clear? Fine, I will leave you alone. That doesn't vary the fact you're screaming for help. I said, haha, I'm screaming to be left alone. So please keep whatever interpretation you have to yourself and respect what I'm asking for the 5th time. You can read what the respondent said. If we go to the next screenshot. And then this was the rampage before he started on the 16th. So men are not assholes. I'm sorry, I don't think you deserve that. If we can go to the next screenshot, actually 2 down.
So these were the ones that we read that come to the picture of the lake.
Yep.
Okay. And then
if you can scroll down here, but go to screenshot 10, if you don't mind.
Because at the bottom, he's texting you the next morning and asking if you still want to be friends.
Yeah. And I said no. We can go to screenshot 11. I just want to run through these here. This was about the Apple Watches and the gift. We'll go to the next one, 12. Now, this was, I want to pause here. You can see, please come back. There's multiple attempts. I sent the attempt on October 18th. This was 2 days after these were left in my trash can. I said, I've spoken to a lawyer about you harassing me multiple times after asking you multiple times to stop and leave me alone. If you contact me again, contact Jenny, which is a friend of mine, or approach me in public. My lawyer and I will also go to the apartment as well as the police. I also included in, I guess, we can keep going, but some of this goes further into the timeline here. These are recent messages. I wanted to save these if that's okay. So I guess we can pause. If you don't mind, yeah, we can save that. So after October 16th, I moved early. I actually, the petitioner number 6, I have my moving documents uploaded that shows my lease termination and the date that I hired the movers. I'm not sure that I feel that comfortable sharing that right now, and I'll show you why. Because for my safety.
Well, you can just testify. What's the date you moved out of the apartment?
October 30th. October 31st. Yep.
Okay, so at the end of October, you moved out of the apartment. Your lease was good through when? The end of the year? Okay, so, and did you incur any financial consequence or penalty as a result of that decision?
I did.
And what was that?
I had to pay an extra, the time difference. I was paying double rent for that period of time.
So you left the apartment, got another residence, and continued to pay rent for the remaining 6 weeks on your lease?
Correct. Yeah, to get out of the situation. Or
okay, and he was continuing to reside at the apartment in that time?
Right, to my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And so you relocated in October, and what would you like to tell us next?
Yeah. So past that point, I was trying to move on with my life as I am at this period. Nothing happened. I moved forward until I got a text message on May. I'll look at the date in a second, but my birthday was May 9th. I was out of town for a work trip. I was in Savannah. I got a call about a delivery, and usually my brother will send me flowers for my birthday. I asked who the delivery was from the delivery driver. I was expecting to hear my brother's name. I heard the respondent's name and nearly was very uncomfortable. So I had 2 packages, 2 deliveries sent by the respondent to my new address. I did not tell him my new address. On that day, I filed a police report.
So that was how you came to find out that he knew your new address.
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
petitioner number 1 evidence is this police report.
Okay. Okay. And that was with
Brookhaven Police.
Brookhaven Police. Right. I guess the information on here is not confidential, but and so you reported to them that you have been contacted, that you didn't know how this person had your information.
Right. If we could go to the second page, please. Thank you. This is a summary.
Well, since they're not here to be questioned, I mean, you can tell us what you informed the police, but we don't necessarily need the report from the officer to accompany that in the moment. And so you notified them that about what was going on, and then you were instructed to take what steps?
I notified them what was going on. The officer asked me if she actually said, based off the evidence that I had given her, I could call a judge and potentially take further action. I told the officer at the time, I was very shocked and felt very uncomfortable and scared. I didn't know what to do. So I wanted some time to think about it and contact my own counsel, if you will. So I told her just to file the police report. It had been going an ongoing process, and then I would decide the next step from there. So I had 2 packages delivered. On one of the packages, it has a receipt with his email address, his confirmation, everything. I know they were both from him. That is when I decided to move forward with filing this protective order, because enough is enough. That has made me very uncomfortable in my own home.
Okay. And I show that this order was filed on or about June 6th. Is that correct? All right. And so what contact has taken place, let's say, across May and June of this year?
Yeah, so if we can go back to just the text message evidence at the bottom, the ones that we didn't get to, the most recent, I have 4 text messages from him on June 12th, June 13th, June 17th. So if we can show those, there's 4 screenshots, especially the ones from June 7th. Yeah. So
if we can go up one just in case.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So May 6th, this is 2023. I have no interest to harass you or get arrested. I happen to see a missed call from you checking back. And this was...
That was 3 days before the deliveries to my new apartment.
Okay. And then June 12th, a message that just has your name. And then June 13th, if we can scroll down one. If it was just a wrong dial, just say so, and I'll forget you ever existed. If it's not, which is the premise of this message, I think we both agree we are not getting any younger and we need to talk.
Yeah, and then these are the last messages here. So if you can read that, if we can go back.
Can we go back one? Okay. All right, what's next? The next page, sorry. All right, the next page.
Oh yeah, I wanted to also, sorry, this breaks this up, but the comment about do we really have to give up having sex really rubbed me the wrong way and intimidated me after everything I've been through. That was prior, but I know that's out of order, but that was just one more to the equation. If we go to the next screenshot, that's the end of the messages here.
All right. That's the last page.
Yes.
All right. And these screenshots have not had their text edited in any way. And they're fair and accurate copies of the messages you sent and received on these dates.
Correct.
All right. Hold on. Hang on. Counsel, any objection to these being admitted into evidence?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead, ma'am.
I was just going to say the only other thing, if you need to see it, I have petitioner for evidence as the delivery pictures with the evidence. If you need to see that, we can. If not, it's up to you.
We can pull that up. And this is in reference to the May deliveries?
Yes.
All right. Give us just a moment. We'll pull up number 4.
So that was the note that went along with the flowers, which is in picture number 2. That I received. And then if you go to picture 3, that was a separate delivery. And then picture 4 shows the delivery receipt, which actually shows his email address. It says ordered by his name. If you look in the top left-hand corner underneath where it says the delivery to me, you can see it was ordered by him.
So can we go back to number 1?
Yep.
So can you explain what we're looking at here?
Yeah, my assumption is he used to say that I looked like Natalie Portman. I don't really see it. I guess that's where he's going from with that. And then the Tom thing, we saw one movie together, which was Top Gun. And I'm assuming this is kind of like a joke, but not a joke, if you will. But same delivery address. I know these are connected.
So did they arrive at the same time?
I'm not positive. I was, like I said, I was out of town.
Did you find them at the same time?
I found the second delivery. Actually, I never even found the delivery. The delivery driver sent me over the evidence. I told him he could dispose of those. And then on May 10th, when I arrived back from my work trip, I went to my leasing office and picked up the flowers as well as this note.
Okay. And so the flowers also came while you were in Savannah for the work trip. You recovered them from the apartment leasing office. There was no documentation that accompanied those the way it did for the other stuff, but they were received in the same period that you were gone. And how long were you gone?
One night, overnight.
Okay. So very short window for, this is not a situation where you were gone for 2 weeks and it could have been at opposite ends of the thing. Understood. All right. And are these photographs true and accurate copies of what they purport to depict?
Yeah.
All right. Counsel, any objection to their admission?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. All right. We've covered the text messages and the pictures. I believe that is all the questions I have for you right now. I may have follow-up questions on redirect. Right now, Mr. Shin, the attorney for the respondent, will have the opportunity to cross-examine to ask you questions about anything he thinks that he needs to in this process. If there are any issues I have with the questions being asked, then I'll intervene and we'll kind of correct course. So, Mr. Shen, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honor. Good morning, Ms. Beeler. Just a few questions about what you just testified to. Looks like based upon the Ms. Beeler, based on the text messages that we just saw on the screen, it looked like you were also sending text messages to Mr. Robbie, correct?
Up until my last one in October. Yes.
So you guys were exchanging. It was not a unilateral communication from Mr. Robbie to you. You guys were in fact exchanging text messages, right?
Up until my last message in October, yes.
October, correct. Okay, and then you did not block Mr. Robbie's phone, correct? Phone number.
Correct.
And back in April of this year, you called Mr. Robbie on his phone, right?
I don't believe so. If I did, it was a butt dial, if you will.
Okay.
There was no voicemail, no text, no follow-up. So there's been a few times where I was looking through these text messages over, just examining some of this, trying to rack my brain. It might have been a mistake call. However, I have not tried to have any sort of contact with him, period, for obvious reasons.
Does your the last four digits of your phone number end in 9390?
Yes.
Last four digits. Okay. And I think in one of the text messages we just saw, you told, I think it's from in August of 2022, you sent a text message to Mr. Robbie stating that, to quote, I literally don't know what you're saying or if it's meant to be funny. Honestly, it's getting very annoying at this part. I'm done with this. I'm not sure how to make it clear. Emphasis on the really annoying. Do you recall that message from you, Mr. Robbie, back in August?
I do.
Is there a yes? Okay, thank you. And you said you called the police, the Brookhaven police. Was it after you moved out to the apartment?
I'm sorry, I could not understand the audio on your end, Mr. Shen. Can you repeat that question?
Yes, Your Honor, I will. Ms. Wheeler, so isn't it true that you did not call the police before when you called the Brookhaven police fairly recently, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you called the police just once so far?
I called the police about the deliveries to my address.
The one in May of this year, right?
Right.
You just called the police just once throughout this whole time frame we're talking about.
How is that relevant?
And please answer the question.
Yeah, I called the police. Actually, no, I didn't call the police. The officer's car happened to be outside of my complex. So I approached the officer.
Okay. And as of today, you have now blocked Mr. Robbie's phone number, right? On your phone.
You said, say that again? You were breaking up.
You have not blocked my client's phone number, right? As of today.
Right.
Okay. And in one of the texts, is it true that you said something about, in your text to Mr. Robbie, something about calling him a stupid ass comments, I will block your number, something like that? You called him a stupid ass?
I said, if you keep up with these stupid ass comments, I will block your number.
Okay. Nothing further for the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, did you have any other witnesses that you wish to call to testify today?
No.
All right, the petitioner has rested. Mr. Shin, you have the ability to call witnesses, including but not limited to the respondent. How would you like to proceed?
Thank you, Honor. I'd like to call my client, Mr. Robbie, as a witness.
All right, sir, I'm going to ask that you raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear any statements you make to the court today will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Go ahead, Mr. Shin.
Thank you, Honor. Did you get a missed call from Miss Beeler back in April of this year?
That's correct. Yes.
And is the last 4 digits of her number 9390?
Correct.
Your Honor, we have a R1 respondents exhibit number 1 that we'd like to present and tender. Okay, Mr. Robbie, do you recognize that on the screen document marked as respondents exhibit number 1?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what is it?
It's a call log showing the missed call from the petitioner.
Petitioner, you said? All right, on April 29th?
Correct.
Okay, is there
Okay, so hang on, let me jump in here. So what I'm supposed to be looking at is primarily, it is strictly the unredacted line, the 678-9390 number for 1:53 p.m. is the alleged missed call from the petitioner. Is that the only one of these that I need to be putting my brain power toward at this moment?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay,
Yes.
Carry on. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything else I needed to glean from this.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Robbie, so is there a fair and accurate copy of the actual screenshot from your phone call history?
It is.
Your Honor, we'd like to tender respondents exhibit number 1 as the evidence.
All right. Ma'am, do you have any objection to the screenshot of the call log coming into evidence?
No.
All right. So admitted. Carry on.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. So Mr. Robbie, so when you got this missed call, what action did you take afterwards?
I missed it. I could not see it. I could not answer it right away. And I, especially after October's, I was trying to move on with my life and getting busy at work and the school that I go to, and it all disturbed me big time.
So did you reach out to Miss Beeler after you got a missed call from her in April?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the substance of your contact with Miss Beeler after you got that missed call?
No, I was trying to check what was the call for, and yeah.
Was there any kind of, did you intend to or did you send any messages or any contacts to intimidate or to harass Miss Beeler?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, and you guys were exchanging text messages last year. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, and have you sent any messages to Miss Beeler to intend to intimidate or to harass her last year?
No.
And you guys were exchanging text messages until was it October of last year?
Correct.
Okay. And then did you ever contact Miss Beeler after you were served with the TPO papers this year?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Your Honor, that's all I have for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, I have some follow-up questions. Sir, you said that she called and you couldn't answer right away. Is that what you testified to?
Correct.
Okay, and why is that?
I was not at the phone. I could not see the call.
Okay, this number is a cell phone, right? The number that she contacted you on is your cell phone?
Yes.
Okay, I was inferring that based on the fact there was a call log to screenshot in the first place. Okay, and so your cell phone would typically be with you, correct?
Typically.
Okay. Do you work?
Yes, sir. I do.
Okay. What do you have a typical weekday work schedule, or is it different than that?
9 to 5, and I'm 9 to 5 is a typical schedule, and sometimes I can I work on the weekends, and I also go to a school for training during the weekends. So it might have been one of those days.
Okay, well, this would have been about 2 p.m. on a Saturday. So, if you seem so, what was going on this particular Saturday?
I don't recollect, sir, but I could be at the library. I could be at the school.
Let me rephrase the question a little bit. When did you become aware that you had missed a call from her?
Little after later that evening, I suppose.
Okay, so more than a few hours later, you're saying is the first time you noticed. And you said you followed up and tried to contact her. What methods did you use to follow up?
I sent a text message.
Okay. And so that was around May 6th was the first message based on what she submitted. Does that sound right?
That sounds about right, yes.
Okay. And then messages that followed in the weeks across the next, let's say, I'm going to round it, approximately a month and a half or so. So from May 6th across about mid-June, it was various unreturned text messages for that period, correct?
Correct.
All right. And did you leave the Apple Watches and the flowers in October?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you send the flowers and the other gift in May?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. I think those are all the questions that oh, no, those aren't all the questions that I have. How do you know where to send them to?
Right. So after my lease was due to renew in April 2023 or so, and I was looking for apartments too, and I wanted to be, and I like to be near a park, and I wanted to. I was checking. I checked few apartments, and I ended up in one of those. Where apparently I was taking a tour of the leasing office. Of the apartment, and that's when I ran into the leasing office was very specific about the petitioner staying there.
The leasing office was very specific about it.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
She was clear on her name and the brother she has. So,
okay, but how does that come into your conversation with a leasing office when you're looking for an apartment?
Which I still don't understand to this moment.
Think real hard.
Absolutely, sir. I still don't understand.
So what questions did you ask the leasing office about the petitioner?
I once after I come to understand that she's living there, I did not want to be part of that apartment, and I just renewed the current lease at my apartment.
All right, Madam Clerk, can we pull up the exhibit that had the it was 4 pages. It was the flowers and the note. It was the other present and the receipt. Can we pull that back up and display the page with the receipt, please?
Okay, I think that was number 4.
That sounds correct to me as well.
Okay.
And I think we're looking for page 3, if my memory serves me correct. Whatever page has the receipt on it. And then if we could, I'm going to maximize that on my screen. And then if we could zoom in. All right. And so that is the address that those were sent to. And so what mention of Miss Beeler did you make to the leasing office?
I did not, I mean, I did not mention, I mean, I was there to take a tour of the apartment. I have no idea that she's living there.
Okay. So how does it even come up?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
How does that even come up?
I do not understand that till day. Yes, sir. I do not understand.
Okay.
That.
So your testimony under oath today, under penalty of perjury, is that you went to take a tour of the apartment, and then the leasing, had you ever met the person that worked in the leasing office before today, before the day of the tour?
No.
Okay. And so this person who is a stranger to you, how many other residents did the leasing office identify besides Ms. Beeler on this day?
I don't recollect any.
Guess. So none is your answer. The only resident that was identified by the leasing office in your testimony under oath today is that they said, oh, by the way, this person who happens to be your ex-girlfriend also resides at this complex. Is that
Yes.
how would they even know that?
100%, yes, sir. That's what I clearly remember till this date.
The mysteries of life, I suppose. All right, Ms. Beeler, are there any questions I should have asked that I haven't thought to ask?
I'm a little bit speechless right now, Your Honor, to be honest. I would love to see I would be curious to ask my leasing office. I'm pretty sure legally they're not able to give out any information. And if you had a booking of a visit, but it's neither here nor there. I think this just goes to prove my point even further. So
I do have, well, let me turn to this. Mr. Shen, do you have any for your client?
Your Honor, just a question, Your Honor. Mr. Robbie, so did you go out actively searching for Ms. Beeler's whereabouts recently or last year?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so when you went to the leasing office, and then what was the first thing that you said to the leasing office folks?
I just wanted to get an apartment. That's it.
Okay, and then, well, how long were you there?
Probably 30 minutes.
Okay, and
there was
hang on, Mr. Shen. His audio. Sometimes the connection, probably on my end, struggles to process everything coming through, and then what happens is the audio, it gets a little bit choppy, like the box at the drive-through when you're trying to make your order. And so I heard you ask how long you were there, but I can't understand his answer.
Yes, Your Honor. So I'll repeat the question, Your Honor. So how long were you at the leasing office?
30-40 minutes.
Okay, and then do you recall what was the first thing you when you walked in, what was the first thing you told the leasing office people there?
So I walked in, and there were two ladies and one lady, and they were helping some other residents.
Okay.
So I waited in the lobby, and once they were ready, so first there was a lady who took me, and she was asking what sort of apartment are you looking for?
Okay.
And all of those questions, right? And she said she can take me on a tour while you sit on there. Just wait for me and we can go on a tour, right? And after that lady left, and there's a different lady that came in, and she is the one who brought this topic out of nowhere, and I slowly realized that she is living there, and later we went ahead with the tour. And I know at that moment I don't want to stay at that apartment, but I just went with the tour, and later on I left.
Okay, so all right, so
they have a piece of ID. They have my driver's license.
So some different person approached you, the leasing office, and then all of a sudden said Ms. Beeler lives at that apartment.
Correct. Yes.
What else did that this different person say to you?
Right. So she was specific about the details that would help me identify her, right? About her brother who lives in a different country. And yeah.
Did you ask her, like, why all of a sudden, like, why are you saying this, for example? Did you ask her what's going on? Like, why is this all of a sudden coming up?
I was trying to process, but I know I don't want to be there. So I did not ask any questions. So I was just being polite and took the tour of it and just left.
Did you ever submit any applications to that apartment?
No.
Okay. Did you call the leasing office anytime after that tour?
No, she wanted me to. She asked me once that are you still interested, and I said I extended the lease at the current apartment. So I said no, thank you.
How many tours of other apartments did you engage in besides on that issue?
I would recollect at least 2, 3.
Okay, are they all the same area or are they kind of spread out geographically?
Spread out.
Okay.
Spread out.
And you said you ended up renewing the lease as your old apartment?
That's correct.
And what is the name of that apartment complex?
The Hollywood.
And that's just to clarify. And so you and the petitioner were neighbors at the Oliver?
Correct.
Okay. So and as of today, you're still at the Oliver?
Correct.
Okay. That's all for this witness, Your Honor.
All right. Did you have any other witnesses you intended to call?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Beeler, I'm going to categorize this as rebuttal testimony. It's sort of points of clarification as much as anything, but I do have a few other questions I wish to ask you. I see that the listed address for the respondent's residence is in Chamblee, and that is the address where you two were neighbors. Is that correct? I think I saw you say yes. I couldn't hear it, but that's a me issue. Okay. And approximately how far away did you move? Because I noticed it was a Brookhaven police report.
Yeah, within 5 miles or less.
Okay. So a different city, but fairly close because these things just kind of run together in DeKalb County. Do the apartments in your complex have apartment numbers, or do they have an individual, I'll call it an individual street address? I can clarify that question further if that doesn't make sense.
Clarify it further if you don't mind. So I want to make sure.
Madam Clerk, can we pull up the receipt from the one that you showed from Exhibit 4 a few moments ago?
I think I know where you're going here, actually. Yeah, no problem. We have individual apartment numbers. It was sent to not the actual apartment number, but to the just actual address, as you can see on the receipt.
Okay, and so that address would pertain to a number of apartments, and then there would be specific apartment numbers that would follow behind that same street address, which is I'm just going to call it the Blair address. I mean, I know it's displayed on the screen, but there would be a number of units that would be 3450, that address, and then a number or letter number, whatever the style of the number is or of the designation that comes after. Okay, and then could you estimate how many apartments or buildings there are in the complex?
2 buildings. I'm not sure the total number of apartments.
Okay, more than 10?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd say probably over 100 at least.
Wait, how many buildings did you say?
Two buildings, but at least over 100 apartments.
Okay, how many stories are in your building, for example, or in the buildings that you know of, roughly?
I think 4.
Okay, so these are a fairly substantial complex.
Right.
Okay. All right. I know that I've kind of brought you in for that rebuttal evidence. Mr. Shin, did you have any questions in response to the rebuttal questioning?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Shin, any argument?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll just keep it very brief. I just want to start a case law. It's Murphy v. O'Keefe. It's a court appeals case dated 2019. Is there an audio issue? Can you hear me clearly?
It's a little choppy. I got that it was a court of appeals case, and I think you were about to give me the site.
Yes, yes, Your Honor. It's a court of appeals case.